This next one, I'm actually super invested in as well, because this is something I've been pondering and I've seen all sorts of different answers all over the place. I find listening to heavy metal and or motivational rap music, not the filthy kind, during my big lifts helps me push past pain and lift harder and heavier. However, some fellow Orthodox laymen have told me I shouldn't listen to these kinds of music, even in the context of gym. However, these are usually the kind of guys who do not lift heavy weights. What are your thoughts on the matter, Father?
Oh, you know what, man? I mean, the reality is like St. Paul dealt with a lot of this in his time when he was talking about meat sacrificed to idols. And he's like, look, I don't do certain things because I can make somebody stumble, but in and of myself, it's not going to cause me to stumble. Right. And that's the distinction. Even, St. Paul says to the pure, all things are pure. So for me personally, I don't have a problem listening to whatever. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't wound my conscience. I don't have any regret or feelings of whatever. Mm-hmm. If there's somebody else, and my experience has been, sometimes this is the case, you have somebody who's kind of a bit more fragile or newer to the church, or maybe a little more fragile in their faith. They tend to be more sensitive about things. And what they end up doing is they end up pushing their sensitivity on other people, telling other people like, this is not proper or appropriate behavior. And the reality is each one of us has to listen to our conscience. So there is somebody, I'm sure, who says, I can't listen to metal. Maybe they used to listen to metal and it brings back a flood of bad behavior or enticements or something else. And it's better for them to avoid it. There are certainly metal bands that I will avoid, just like there are hip hop bands that I would avoid as well. That being said, fundamentally, yes, of course, we always have to be careful, but I think we have to check our conscience, and if we're okay with it, it's not causing us to sin or to stumble or some other issue to transpire. Then I don't really see an issue with it. I mean, the reality is like working out is grueling. I don't even find it's the lyrics. I just find it's having some kind of background music beat, something thumping that is, like they used to have drummers on rowing ships.
Battle speed, Mortator.
Battle speed!
Right? And they would beat the rhythm of the rowing, and then, you know what I mean? Also, it would use it as a distraction. The auditory sound takes your mind off of, what you're doing in that moment in a way. There's a certain distraction element to it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's.
Like you say, I guess, coming down to that individual conscience level. So, the next message I send you after this phone call is done, Father, is I'm going to be asking for your playlist, because I'm gonna take that to the gym.
I don't even. What's so funny is like I don't even have a playlist stuff. I just like put on YouTube, and then there's just certain bands that I listen to, and I'm not overly. I don't know. Maybe I'm not overly picky, whatever, but I just listen to whatever I'm in the mood for. I do find, though, that if I am gearing up for like a really heavy bench, squat, deadlift, whatever, there are certain songs that have, that ability to kind of help you mentally lock in and turn it up a notch. And that's very important, especially when you're dealing with very heavy and kind of, honestly dangerous weights, like a 450-pound bench press raw is technically dangerous. If something goes bad, it's quite a bit of poundage will fall on you. So it's important to be mentally locked in. I just when you're in that zone, having total silence is deafening. I used to listen to a lot of music when I drove, and now I listen to none, pretty much. Like, I don't like listening to music when I drive. I'd rather listen to an audiobook, say the Jesus prayer, be silent, or make a phone call, whatever. I don't really want to listen to music when I drive. I don't really listen to music in my kind of day-to-day life at all, really, almost at all. So but when you're lifting weights, it's a completely different atmosphere. You need something, you need a cadence that's pushing you forward and giving you that distraction and helping the time to pass. If you get all hyped up to do a big squat and there's like just a cacophony of silence, it's deafening. You're like, you can hear every little creak in your knees and everything. It's too much. It's too much. You need something to kind of separate you a little bit from everything that's happening so that you're able to just like lock in and go for the goal.
Ascetic Aesthetic, Orthodox Christian Fitness.